Hello everyone, this is part 8 of What If Naruto Awakens the Rinnegan, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Fire Country, Konoha, Hokage Tower. Kakashi giggled as he read through his book. He'd finished his paperwork for today hours ago and now had time to finish reading the new Ica Paradise novel Naruto gave him 2 months ago when he returned. Normally he'd have the book finished by the end of the first week, but the amount of paperwork coupled with the demands of the Elder Council took up most of his free time. Oh, how he missed the days when he could just take it easy. Knock knock. Kakashi sighed audibly and then turned to the door. Come in. The door exploded towards him and his reflexes instantly kicked in. Having been an Anbu captain for years, he was able to duck under his desk and recover quickly as the door flew over his head and through the window. The next thing he heard was the distinct sound of burning paper, and he flipped his table over so it was on its side and covering him from the attackers at the door. Explosions riddled the Hokage's office and flames raged for all to see. Kakashi coughed slightly as he stepped out of cover and thanked the Rikido that he always wore a mask so he wouldn't breathe in the smoke. His attackers were gone, but he could still hear explosions and screaming coming from down the hall. So it's finally happened, Kakashi realized as the floor gave out under him. He fell and crashed into a pile of debris on the floor below. Crap, at this rate the entire building will collapse. He stood shakily and moved towards the stairs. I have to get to the roof now. He dashed up the stairs, noticing the various bodies that lay on the floor as he went. I will make you pay for this, Akatsuki. When he reached the roof, he was greeted to the sight of two figures he knew very well. Uchiha Itachi and Hoshigaki Kisame. Kakashi spoke as he brought up his Hitai and revealed his Sharingan. Kakashi, it's been a long time. Itachi nodded his head in respect. Where are the Kyuubi and Nibi Jinchuriki? That doesn't matter, Kakashi said simply as the flames around the tower grew higher. You'll pay for what you've done here, he told the two. Tsunade-sama is no doubt at the hospital tending to the injured and the remnants of Team Naruto are scattered. I'll just have to do this myself then, were the Hokage's thoughts as he narrowed his eyes at the Akatsuki agents. Just then a figure blurs into existence beside him. Good timing, guy. My flames of youth are burning brightly today. The green-clad Jonin declared loudly. I see you are still a moron, you dumb beast, Kisame chuckled half-heartedly. You're. Who are you? Guy asked upon seeing the shark-like man. Quote. I'll make sure to make you remember by the time this is over, Kisame said with a grin and took off into the village with Guy right behind him. Raiten, Rai-Inu, Kakashi said as he grasped his wrist and a lightning god shot out towards Itachi. Itachi easily evaded the strike and threw out his hand to the side. Utakata, he whispered, and Kakashi instantly stopped moving. I apologize, Kakashi, but this if for the greater good, he spoke as he slashed his Anbu sword across Kakashi's neck. Itachi's eyes widened as Kakashi exploded into lightning and struck every nerve in Itachi's system. It is clearly a Rai-Bunshin no Jutsu. Reikiri, the real Kakashi exclaimed as he plunged his lightning-covered hand through Itachi's back, where his heart was located. Impressive, Kakashi. It is no wonder that you were made the god. I'm Hokage, Itachi said, unaffected by the fist that was protruding from his chest. Bunshin Daibakura, he whispered, and Kakashi's eyes widened as he jumped away. Itachi exploded in a blast of fire which destroyed the already unstable Hokage Tower. When it was over, Kakashi shifted slightly in the debris that was once the Hokage Tower and stood up with a wince as pain flashed through his left arm. It didn't take him long to realize that it was dislocated and he only needed a few seconds to pop it back into place. So you survived that, Kakashi. That is impressive, but you and I both know that you cannot win here. Hand over the Kyuubi and the Nibi and we will leave peacefully, Itachi stated calmly. You know that I will never agree to that, Itachi, Kakashi declared. Quote. So be it, Itachi finished as he drew his Anbu sword to the side. Mangekyo Sharingan, Kakashi whispered after making a hand seal, and his Sharingan shifted into its most powerful form. That's. Surprise flashed across Itachi's eyes for a second before he narrowed them. Kamui, Kakashi whispered. What? Itachi thought in alarm and quickly moved out of the way as time and space seemed to compress where he had stood. His sword was caught in the jutsu and crushed in a swirl of matter and air. That jutsu was Damn it, I missed, Kakashi thought as his breathing worsened. Kaiten, Guayu no Jutsu, a large fireball exploded from Itachi's mouth and barreled towards Kakashi's position, burning everything in its way. Kakashi jumped high, over the oncoming fireball and threw out his fist. Raiten, Rai-Inu, a lightning dog shot from his hand and descended on Itachi. It struck dead center but, Itachi, poofed out of existence a moment later, damn it he was a clone. Just then two Itachis descended upon him from above as he touched back down on solid ground, it's like I'm fighting dust and echoes. Bunshin Daibakura, Kakashi's eyes widened at the words. Kamui, the Hokage whispered and the two explosions that the clones created were instantly teleported to another dimension. Most impressive Kakashi, despite not being of Uchiha blood you are still able to use the Mangekyo Sharingan. That is truly a remarkable accomplishment, Itachi commented. Tell me, who did you kill to get that eye? He inquired. No one. A friend of mine from back during the Third Great Shinobi War sacrificed his life to save mine and he gave me this Sharingan as a present since he didn't have anything else to give and he had no further use for it. The Mangekyo Sharingan is unlocked when someone has a full matured Sharingan and experiences incredible guilt for something he or she has done, or in my case failed to do, Kakashi stated calmly. That explains how you are able to use Kamui and I cannot. Only one other man in history has ever unlocked that specific ability. Uchiha Madara, Kakashi's eyes widened at the name. Itachi, just how much of your eyesight have you lost? Kakashi asked him but after a few moments of silence he knew he wasn't going to get an answer. You cannot win, surrender the Jinchuriki or I will do what I must, Itachi gave the ultimatum. No, Kakashi answered simply. So be it, Mangekyo Sharingan, Itachi's eyes shifted into his own personal version of the Dujutsu. Amaterasu, black flames erupted from his eyes and shot towards the Hokage at incredible speed. With what little chakra I have left, I can't take Itachi out and if I use that jutsu again, I will drain myself completely and without a doubt I will, die. The best way I can save Konoha right now is to buy time for Naruto to return, Kakashi thought as he saw the black flames approached and the world around him seemed to slow to a crawl. Kamui, the black flames were sucked into his jutsu and disappeared as he closed his eyes slowly. Itachi bowed his head in respect as Kakashi fell lifelessly to the floor. You were a worthy opponent, Kakashi. Well, it seems this is it for me, too. Obito. Rin. Sensei, where are Kakashi's last thoughts before his eyes closed completely and forever? Kaiten. Guayu no Jutsu. A fireball descended on Itachi's position and he quickly evaded the attack as a figure touched down beside Kakashi's fallen corpse. Namikaze Taiuya, the sister of the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, daughter of the Yondaime Hokage and fellow user to the Rinnegan. Also known as the true heir to the Whirlpool country, Itachi stated upon recognizing her. Actually I prefer Uzumaki Taiuya, you prick, the redhead growled at him as she checked Kakashi's for a pulse. When she found none she glared intensely at the Uchiha mass murderer. You fucking bastard. You wish to fight. So be it, Itachi said in monotone and motioned for the come at him. Where are the Kyuubi and Nibi Jinchuriki? He questioned. Like I tell you bastard, the redhead growled at him and shot forward. Unknown, Limbo. Kakashi walked through the darkness towards the small campfire he could see in the distance along with a cluster of medium-sized rocks beside it. As he drew closer he saw a figure sitting atop one of the rocks staring into the fire and he immediately knew who it was. Kakashi. The figure called out turning his head to watch the Kopinin approach. So this is where you were, Kakashi said as he came up beside the man and sat down on one of the other rocks. Will you tell me your tale? The figure asked. Yes, but it's a long story so I want to take my time, Kakashi sighed. The man smiled and said, yeah, that's fine. You see, father. Fire country, Konoha, downtown. Tsuten, Bakusui Shoha. A massive blast of water erupted from Kisam's mouth and seemed to consume a good portion of the village, forcing Guy onto the rooftops. Hold still you dumb beast. The swordsman shouted with a grin and slid across the water. Guy dashed across the water faster than most Jonin could see and intercepted the Akatsuki agent atop the water. Using his legs as leverage, he was able to knock Samehada from Kisam's grasp and kick him away while grabbing the fallen weapon. Guy jumped up with his hands grasping Samehada's handle and swing down on Kisam's position. Just before he connected, however, the handle splintered and Guy winced as his hands were stabbed and scratched by the blade, forcing him to drop it. The green-clad Jonin brought out a pair of nunchaku and swung them around before assuming a stance. Same Hada only allows me to use it, Kisum declared proudly as he grasped the handle of his weapon once again. He shot forward and swung down on Guy's position. Die. Such strength, Guy thought as he used his nunchaku to hold the sword away from his head. Not good enough. Kisum roared and struck down on Guy with his free arm. He's too strong, Guy yelled in thought as he fell through the water towards the street below. I haven't even gotten started yet, Kisum shouted as he quickly formed several hand seals. He slammed his fist into the water and called out, Suten, Goshokuzame. Suddenly 5 sharks made out of dense water formed beneath the water and swam towards Guy. I have no choice, Guy realized and quickly crossed his arms in front of him. Chakra exploded from him in waves and destroyed the 5 water sharks instantly as he called out, Kaiman, Kuman, Simon, Shoman, Toman, Kaiman, Kai. What? Kisum exclaimed in alarm as Guy appears in front of him. Guy's battle cry is heard all across the village as he pounds the Akatsuki swordsman again and again in a blaze of power and fury. Every hit sending out a blast of fire from sheer friction of the speed involved as he continued to hammer Kisum with everything he had. Guy ended his combo with a roundhouse kick to the face of the Akatsuki agent, sending him crashing through one of the buildings below and causing it to collapse under the strain of the impact. That should do it, Guy thought as he touched down on the water once again. Suten, Dai Bakusui Shoha. Water exploded from where Kisum had crashed and Guy was forced to jump away yet again. What? Guy thought in alarm. Suiro Samiadori no Jutsu. The water suddenly engulfed him and everything within a mile radius in a massive dome of water. What is this? Guy asked in thought and just then caught sight of his opponent. Kisum didn't look even remotely human anymore. In fact, he resembled a shark instead of a man and his sword was nowhere in sight. Guy appeared in front of him and delivered a punch to the shark man's jaw, but the chakra he released seemed to disappear before the impact. He's absorbing my chakra even without his sword. No, he's merged with his sword and is absorbing my chakra directly. I can't even scratch him now, Guy realized as he swam away. I must escape if I am to survive, he thought as he tried to swim to the outer edge of the dome. After a few moments he saw that the distance between himself and the end of the dome had remained the same. He's moving the dome with me. You can't escape. Even in the water he still heard Kisum's voice as he gained on the green-clad Jonin. Single quote ... I'm almost out of breath. I can't win, Guy realized and came to a halt before turning swiftly towards his opponent once again. Lee, I leave everything to you. May my flames of youth protect you and the village for years to come. He made a hand seal and more chakra exploded from his form. Kyoman, Shimon, Kai. He exclaimed as his body's final gate was opened and he disappeared in a burst of speed. He slammed his fist into Kisum's face, again and again. Fire bolts blazing everywhere only to be put out by the dome of water they were fighting in as Guy continued his assault. For just a moment he thought that the water might be blown away by his chakra, but it did not, possibly because it was saturated with large quantities of chakra. Not that mattered now. I'll just give you a clean cut. Kisum's voice roared as he struck the weakening Guy. It was over. He was a fast dumb beast. The swordsman chuckled as he threw the now dead body of his opponent out of the water dome. A sudden shockwave washed over him and the village, making him turn toward it. What is that? He asked in thought as he saw purple chakra spiral out from where the shockwaves were originating. Oh goody, he grinned, catching on when he saw the purple chakra condense and form the shape of a giant fire cat with 2 tails. So you must be the Nibi Jinchuriki, huh? Well then why don't I cut off your legs and see exactly how many lives you have? You're going to pay for attacking this village. Yugito roared as she sent several blasts of fire at the dome, but they were put out upon impact. Here kitty, Kisum taunted as he moved the water dome towards her. Nekomata Guayu. Yugito exclaimed as a ball of crimson flames erupted from her mouth and exploded against the water dome in front of her. When the mist cleared, the dome was still intact. It wasn't enough. Is that the best you've got? Kisum laughed as he moved the dome towards her. Yugito jumped back, her massive cat form leveling buildings as she landed. Damn it, fine, you have the elemental advantage here, but I'll just have to overwhelm you. Her tails spanned out and 3 balls of pure red fireballs formed at the tips of each tail and in front of her mouth. Kisam's eyes widened at the sight. Oh crap. Taju Nekomata Guayu. The three balls shot forward at high speeds and quickly reached their target in a matter of seconds. They slammed into dome with incredible force before they exploded with a roar, sending a wave of heat in all directions. Buildings melted all around them and the water dome collapsed under the intense heat which was quickly vaporizing everything it touched, leaving a battered Kisame standing in the middle of the destroyed street with his Akatsuki cloak shredded. Someone's PMsing, Kisame said, grinning madly. Fuck you, Yugito snarled with a roar. You're a little too young for me, the swordsman shot back and formed a hand seal. Suten, Daikoden no Jutsu. A massive water shark exploded from the remains of the water dome and slammed into the side of Yugito's large cat form. Fuck, he got me, Yugito thought as the water she was doused with forced her to revert to her regular form. Bastard, she rasped out as she stood once again. How about I cut off your legs? Leader Sama needs you alive so you won't die, Kisame offered as he shouldered Samehada. Go fuck yourself, Yugito shot back and held up her hands to the dark clouds that had formed above. I used Nekomata Guayu 4 times so the air should be sufficiently charged. I hope. Now what are you doing? Kisame questioned before he heard the distinctive sound of lightning striking the earth. Reitan, Kirin, Yugito called out as she brought down her jutsu. Oh crap, he muttered and looked up just in time to see a large dog-like monster made of lightning shoot down from the sky and hit the place where he stood. The resulting blast was thunderous, sending massive amounts of heat and shockwaves for 100 feet almost and melting the nearby buildings in a column of blue and white light. When the dust cleared, Yugito could be seen breathing heavily a few feet away from a bleeding, but still conscious, Kisame who was holding Samehada above his head. You used that damn sword of yours to defend against my jutsu, that's the source of your power isn't it? Yugito asked, catching on. So you figured it out, huh? It's not going to help you, Kisame said grinning as he formed another hand seal. Yugito wasn't going to give him the opportunity however, Reitan no Yoroi. Electricity danced across her skin as she vanished in a burst of speed, surprising Kisame as she appeared in front of him. Keizuki, she yelled as she struck her target. Hey, it looks like you were too fast for me, Kisame said grinning as his head fell to the ground, soon followed by his now lifeless body. I need to hurry and help Tayuya, Yugito thought before she took off. Fire Country, Konoha, Hokage Tower Debris Field. Genjutsu won't work against this guy so that leaves ninjutsu and taijutsu, Tayuya thought as she stared towards the Uchiha murder. Kaiten, Guayu no Jutsu. Her eyes widened when she saw the large fireball barrel towards her. Oh fuck, she thought as she raised her hands towards the fireball. Shinra Tensei. The fireball dissipated just before it touched her and she quickly went on the offensive soon after. Mokuton, Daijuran no Jutsu, she threw out her arm and it turned into several wooden spears which shot out towards the Uchiha mass murderer. Mokuton Jutsu. That is surprising, Itachi commented as he easily evaded the attack. Quote. However, power does not always equal strength. Uzumaki Tayuya, he finished as he landed on the rubble once more. Utakata, he whispered as he raised his hand to his side. Tayuya froze, having been caught in his genjutsu, and he quickly moved in for the kill, only for Tayuya to quickly stab her arm to break free of the illusion. You have to try better than that, the redhead shouted as she shot forward. It appears you learned some interesting tricks from Naruto-kun, Itachi responded calmly as he moved to intercept. Chidori, Tayuya called out as her right hand was encased in lightning. Kakashi's jutsu ha. Well then, Chidori, Itachi spoke as his own left hand was encased in lightning also to Tayuya's surprise. 3 steps away, they inhaled. 2 steps away, they exhaled. 1 step away, they inhaled. 0 steps away, they clashed. Dust was blown skyward as the pair were blown back and they each slammed into the wall that surrounded the debris of the Hokage Tower. Tayuya shakily stood and shook herself before turning her attention back to her opponent. The Uchiha was standing, seemingly uninjured, and had retained his almost bored stance with his Akatsuki cloak swaying in the wind. How the fuck do you know Chidori? The red-headed Uzumaki asked the question. I copied it from an encounter I had with my younger brother 3 years ago when we first tried to capture Naruto-kun and Yugito-chan. Sasuke doesn't concern me, however his jutsu was interesting to say the least, Itachi replied with his Sharingan spinning wildly. Fuck, if he can counter Chidori like that then what am I supposed to do? Genjutsu is useless and my gravity jutsus won't do much against someone like him, Tayuya growled in thought as she kept her gaze away from the Uchiha's Sharingan. Kaiten, Hosenka no Jutsu, she heard the whisper and saw Itachi exhale several small fireballs at her. Shit, she thought and raised her hands in front of her. Fujutsu Kyuin, she whispered and the fireballs were absorbed by a sphere-like barrier in front of her. You are too slow Uzumaki Tayuya, Itachi said as he appeared behind her in a burst of speed. Shinra Tensei, she turned swiftly and sent him crashing back against the wall with a deafening impact. Impressive but still useless, Itachi commented as he appeared behind her once again. The one I hit must have been a clone. Tayuya thought as she turned to face him again. Bunshin Daibakuya, Itachi, spoke and Tayuya's eyes widened. What? The redhead exclaimed in thought as Itachi exploded with enough force to send her crashing hard into the barrier around the ruins of the Hokage Tower. He must have been the one I hit with Shinra Tensei and had his clone get in close during my 5-second recharge time. But, how would he know that weakness exactly? You have fought well Uzumaki Tayuya, but I have experience in fighting Rinnegan uses like you. I once fought Leader Sama during my initiation into Akatsuki and was soundly defeated. However, I did learn of several weaknesses in the Rinnegan which can be exploited. Although Leader Sama is too strong to allow me to exploit these weaknesses, you however aren't. You lack experience, nothing more, Itachi stated clearly. Fuck you, the redhead rasped out. Itachi didn't say anything as he shot forward with the intent on finishing her off once and for all. The moment he was within range, however, he was blown back by a large blast of wind. Tayuya was also surprised and looked up at the figure which now stood between her and the Uchiha. Futon, Daitopper, the red and orange figure whispered the name of his jutsu. En Naruto. Tayuya asked in surprise upon seeing her brother. You did well Tayuya, you can rest now. I've got this, Naruto told her as he kept his gaze on the Uchiha. Naruto-kun, Itachi said in monotone. This stops now. Fire Country, Konoha, Hokage Tower Debris Field. This isn't going to be easy, Naruto thought as he focused his gaze on the Uchiha mass murderer. A moment later Yugito dropped down beside him. A moment later, Naruto. You're back. Was I too late? No, you're just in time, Naruto replied. Quote. I probably shouldn't bring this up, but now that I've mastered Senjutsu I'm able to sense chakra signatures. Has Hokage Sensei gone somewhere? Neither Yugito nor Tayuya replied to that. Quote. Okay, Naruto said finally and clenched his fists in anger. His eyes were different, the pupil were a horizontal slits while the Rinnegan circle patterns overlapped it. The outermost circle at the edge of his eyes was red while the innermost circle was yellow and the rest was the standard gray. His Rinnegan looks different from before. I still have more than enough chakra to face Naruto-kun, but I won't have enough left over if reinforcements arrive. Kisame has clearly been defeated, so my only choice is to lure him away, Itachi thought before he turned quickly. He's getting away, Yugito exclaimed as the Uchiha jumped over the barrier towards the eastern gate. I'm going after him, you stay and help Tayuya. He won't get away, Naruto told her and turned quickly. Alright, but take Katsuyu with you, she'll allow you to stay in contact with us, Yugito told him and handed him the small summoned slug. Thanks, Naruto nodded before taking off after Itachi. This should be far enough away for us to do battle without response teams arriving too soon, Itachi thought as he stopped in a clearing in the forest west of the village. Rinnegan. Naruto dropped down from above and Itachi narrowly evaded the jutsu as it struck the spot he was standing on just a moment ago. Didn't our confrontation in Wind Country teach you anything? You cannot expect to defeat me with such direct attacks, Itachi commented as Naruto stood up straight and turned towards him slowly. I can be any number from 1 to 1000, who needs to be indirect? Naruto asked with a grin. Quote. What happened to your Rinnegan, Naruto-kun? It seems different from before, Itachi asked intrigued. It's a secret, Naruto mocked and jumped high above the trees. What is he? Oh dear, Itachi thought and dived into the ground. Doton, Moguragakure no Jutsu, he whispered as he disappeared into the ground. Shinra Tensei. The landscape was blown away by the massive blast of gravity Naruto released. Boulders, trees and the very earth itself were hurled through the crumbling forest as the wave of destruction washed over it until all that was left was a huge crater over 10 miles wide and 40 foot deep. Naruto landed in the center of this, his coat flapping in the wind as the dust cleared, revealing the smooth surface he had created. Impressive, Naruto-kun, Itachi commented as he climbed out of the ground. But undeniably reckless. Throwing that much chakra into a gravity jutsu must have exhausted your ability manipulation to gravity. It will take several minutes for you to gain control over it again, and that leaves you vulnerable. You sure know a lot about the Rinnegan, don't you? Naruto questioned. I once fought Leader Sama when I first joined Akatsuki. He won without a doubt and I was clearly outmatched. However, I was able to learn several of his weaknesses, Itachi replied simply. Well, come on then. Naruto challenged and gestured for him to attack. My regular genjutsu aren't working on him anymore, and I don't wish to use the Mangekyo Sharingan unless I have to. I must keep to my normal jutsu for now, Itachi thought, and quickly formed several hand seals. Kaiten, Guayu no Jutsu. He exhaled a large fireball at the young sage in front of him. Naruto saw it coming and quickly slammed his hand down on the ground. Doten, Doru Heiki no Jutsu. The earth in front of him rose up to create a barrier between him and the oncoming attack. It struck the wall a moment later, dissipating as Itachi narrowed his eyes at the lack of damage. His elemental ninjutsu is extensive, Itachi quickly analyzed. Even without his gravity jutsu, he is still able to use elements outside of his natural affinity. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, two clones popped into existence beside Naruto. I'll end it with this. He held out his hand towards the clones and they immediately started channeling chakra. What is he doing? What are these chakra levels? Itachi thought as his Sharingan spun at the sight of the jutsu that was forming. The number of wind blades in that jutsu, is this how he defeated Orochimaru? Suddenly a bell-like screech reached his ears as he saw the chakra ball that formed in Naruto's hand suddenly sprout 4 large wind blades, making it resemble a large chakra shuriken. What a frightening sound. Futon, Raisin Shuriken. Naruto exclaimed as he twisted his body and threw the jutsu like he would a regular shuriken. He threw it. How can he hurl such high-density chakra like that? Itachi thought in alarm and moved to the side to evade the jutsu. His eyes widened as just when the jutsu was alongside him it suddenly expanded, engulfing his right arm in a ball of wind. It expanded. Itachi gave out a grunt of pain as he pulled himself free of the small hurricane and rolled across the smoother ground. The ball exploded behind him with a resounding boom before the entire crater went silent once again. Itachi quickly checked his right arm. It wasn't there anymore. That last jutsu completely ripped it apart and reduced it to atoms. Damn. I missed, Naruto said with a small grin. He was panting slightly but was otherwise pleased with the fact that he was able to destroy Uchiha's Itachi's right arm. The clones beside him immediately started channeling chakra into his hand again. You can't win Itachi. His strength, he is forcing me into a corner, Itachi realized as he heard the bell-like screech of the very dangerous jutsu that was thrown at him a moment ago. I mustn't allow him to catch me with that jutsu again. Futon, Raisin Shuriken. Naruto cried out as he hurled the chakra shuriken at him once again. I have no choice. Itachi closed his eyes for a moment and then snapped them open again to reveal his Mangekyo Sharingan. Amaterasu, he whispered, and black flames erupted from his eyes. The black flames hit the chakra shuriken in the blink of an eye, pun intended, and caused it to expand prematurely before exploding a moment later. Naruto was panting hard now and his eyes had returned to their natural shape and color. Even in Sage mode, I can only do 2 Raisin Shuriken each. I only have 4 left, Naruto thought as he tried to catch his breath. It would appear that your jutsu has worn off, Itachi commented upon seeing his opponent's muscles suddenly look like they were about to give out. Naruto didn't respond, instead forming a hand seal, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. A single clone popped into existence beside him and he handed the large scroll on his back to it. There was no reason to say the command as the clone already knew what to do and quickly unraveled the scroll as Itachi watched on curiously. I won't let you pull off any of your jutsu, Itachi said as he rushed forward with his hand suddenly encased in lightning chakra. Let's see you try and stop me. Naruto shouted back as he too shot forward with a spinning ball of chakra in his hand. Rasengan. Chidori. The two clashed in the center and the 2 jutsus exploded a moment later, sending dust and mud into the air. Naruto and Itachi flew back in opposite directions with Naruto rolling across the ground to a stop and Itachi slamming through a tree. Itachi, were you always this strong? The young sage asked in thought as he shakily stood once again. Itachi stood also seemingly unharmed. He doesn't even look winded even though I sliced his arm clean off. I do not need my arms to fight you, Naruto-kun. I only need my eyes, Itachi stated clearly. Gyaku Kuchio's no jutsu. The clone that Naruto made earlier exclaimed as he slammed his hand down on the unraveled scroll. The kanji on it lit up and another clone appeared in a puff of smoke. The two dispelled a moment later and the real Naruto felt the influx of sage chakra he had become used to enter his system. His eyes shifted from blue to red and yellow with horizontal slitted pupils as he settled his gaze on the Uchiha's feet so as not to get caught in his genjutsu. Come here, Naruto shouted as he shot forward at speeds that should be impossible for humans. Kawazu Kumite, he called out as he threw a punch at the Uchiha's head. Itachi's Sharingan followed him as he approached and the Uchiha quickly evaded the punch. Just then however Itachi was blown back through a tree as he felt as if his cheek had been hit by Senju Tsunade herself. What was that? That wasn't Kyuubi's chakra and it wasn't gravity manipulation. If I can't predict it then I need to keep my distance, Itachi realized as he quickly recovered. Suddenly Naruto appeared above him in an instant with a massive spinning fireball in his right hand. What? Kaiten, Dai Reizenden. Naruto called out as the spinning fireball shot out towards the ground where Itachi stood. Amaterasu, black flames struck the large fireball causing it to detonate prematurely and release a massive blast of heat and fire in all directions. Once the flames died down Itachi had part of his cloak singed but no serious harm besides his arm. This is getting dangerous. Kaiten, Dai Reizenden. The young sage exclaimed again and sent another spinning fireball at the Uchiha. Itachi could feel his eyes were bleeding heavily now and forced himself to evade the attack as Naruto's eyes returned to their regular form and color signifying his sage mode had depleted again. By now both were panting hard, Naruto more so after throwing 5S rank jutsu at his opponent one after the other in quick succession. His strength has exceeded my expectations. I cannot allow him to recharge his jutsu again, Itachi thought and his Mangekyo Sharingan spun quickly. Naruto was unfortunate enough to be caught in his eyes as he cast his most powerful genjutsu, Tsukuyomi. The world around them changed to a mix of darkness and crimson light. What do you mean Naruto is fighting Itachi alone? Shikamaru asked as the group helped injured shinobi and civilians in the damaged streets. He's asked that no one interfere, Katsuyu spoke up. He's so full of himself, this is Uchiha Itachi we're talking about. The man who wiped out an entire ninja clan in one night and just killed the Godime Hokage. We have to go after him, Kiba snarled out. No, Shikaku spoke up surprising the teens and adults around him. If he's mastered Senjutsu then he's in a class of his own now. The best we can do in this situation is to stay out of his way and don't be a drag on him. You can't be serious, Kiba grunted in disbelief and slight disgust. A wave of bloodlust washed over them causing them all to shiver and snap their eye towards the eastern horizon where a column of crimson light was expanding up from the tree line. That's. Shikaku trailed off as the others quickly caught on also. He's using Kyuubi's chakra. Is that safe? Inoiki asked the others. Not when allies are around no but. For him to use it now means he's been backed into a corner, Yugito replied with clenched fists. Itachi used Tsukuyomi on Naruto and it must have done something to Naruto's control. I am uncertain of what is happening exactly, Katsuyu reported. Wait, Yugito said as she turned. How many tails does he have? She questioned the two Hyuga in the group. There are S6 tails, Hinata stuttered out as she watched with her Byakugan. 6. Yugito repeated with a start. That wasn't supposed to happen, Itachi thought as he stared at the human-sized crimson chakra fox in front of him. It had 6 swishing tails behind it and was covered in some kind of skeleton-like bone structure, so this is the power of the Kyuubi within you Naruto-kun. And you constantly keep it suppressed on a daily basis. Even with the Rinnegan your control is astounding. You continue to amaze me even now Naruto-kun. The crimson fox shot forward, blowing up dust as he moved and quickly appeared above Itachi. The Uchiha quickly reacted by jumping away as Naruto descended and brought his fist down on where Itachi once stood. The resulting shockwave leveled a good portion of the landscape as Itachi narrowly managed to get out of range. With one hand he can send out a shockwave that large. No wonder Madara considers him a threat. Between the Rinnegan and Kyuubi's power Naruto-kun might very well end up killing him where the Shodai, Yondaime and I failed. I do apologize Naruto-kun but I cannot die here, Itachi thought as he stared into the wipe eyes of the crimson chakra fox. Amaterasu, he spoke as black flames struck Naruto in the side. Naruto howled in pain, but the flames didn't penetrate his chakra cloak. Kyuubi's chakra is too dense for even Amaterasu to penetrate. Suddenly blue and red orbs seemed to appear out of the air and gather at Naruto's open mouth as he let out an earth-shattering screech. The balls compressed into a single sphere and Itachi's eyes widened as the ball shot towards him at startling speeds. Rokubako Imari. Susanoo. The ball exploded and engulfed the world around them inside miniature sun. The blast finally dissipated after a few long seconds and both combatants could be seen standing in the new crater that was just created from the last attack. Itachi now stood in the center of a large spiritual aura in the form of a Yamabushi with a sword in one hand and a shield in the other. You still continue to impress me, Naruto-kun, Itachi rasped out as he felt his jutsu started to eat away at his body and soul. I doubt you are conscious at the moment, but please pay attention, for no one has ever seen this jutsu and lived to tell about it. In response, Naruto let out another earth-shattering screech which sent a large shockwave at the Uchiha. The Yamabushi raised his shield as the shockwave washed over him. It held and Itachi batted the shockwave to the side as he swung the sword at his target. Fuin! Itachi exclaimed as the sword struck through the fox's chest and out the other side. The bones dissolved away after a few long seconds as Itachi retracted the blade and watched as the chakra around Naruto started to slowly disperse. Once the Kyuubi's chakra had completely disappeared from his system, Naruto fell forward onto his knees and spewed blood onto the unforgiving ground. Do you see the futility of fighting now? Surrender, Itachi spoke simply. You really think that I'm just going to roll over and die? Just like that? Fuck no. Naruto shouted as he rose to his feet once again. Itachi's eyes widened at the glare Naruto sent at him. His eyes, the Uchiha thought. Naruto's eyes were different even from before. It looked like a mix of Sage Mode, the Rinnegan and the eyes of the Kyuubi at the same time. He's using his jutsu, the Rinnegan and Kyuubi's chakra together. Ludicrous. There's no way anyone could possibly have that level of control. Am I already in Sage Mode? Kyuubi's chakra must have dispelled my last Sage clone, Naruto deduced and glared at the Uchiha in front of him. I'll never give up. I'll never surrender, the blonde shouted as he held up both hands in front of him. I only have one shot at this, come on. Naruto gathered all the chakra he could from the Kyuubi's seal without re-entering his fox mode and threw out his jutsu. Shinra Tensei, he called out as the massive gravity blast washed over the landscape. No. Itachi's eyes widened as the Yamabushi instantly shattered under the strain of the last attack. He dropped to the ground and coughed blood into his only remaining hand. I'm at my limit. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, dozens of clones popped into existence beside Naruto and they charged forward immediately. He's planning on overwhelming me with superior numbers, Itachi realized and took a deep breath. He exhaled a large fireball at the oncoming clones without hand seals, Kaiten, Guayu no Jutsu. The clones were destroyed in matter of seconds, but the surprise came when a spinning chakra shuriken flew through the smoke. What? Futon, Raisin Shuriken, Naruto exclaimed from the clearing smoke. Amaterasu, Itachi forced another blast of black flames at the chakra shuriken and destroyed it instantly as it approached. However, a second chakra shuriken appeared behind the first, making Itachi's eyes widen in surprise. He used Kage Shuriken no Jutsu. The second shuriken struck straight and true, tearing through Itachi's torso in one swift move, and it detonated a few feet behind him. Both halves of the Uchiha were sent flying and fell to the ground a few feet away. The upper body of Itachi coughed up a stream of blood and he forced himself to look up at the blonde for the last time. Thinking fast, he muttered one single word, Tsukuyomi. Anomaly, Tsukuyomi. Naruto suddenly found himself in some kind of house littered with ornaments and weapons. Where am I? He asked in thought as he slowly walked through the room. We must act now. We cannot allow him to blatantly disrespect the Uchiha clan any longer. Naruto snapped his head in the direction of the voice and approached the window. Down in the street below was a man who looked like an older version of Itachi speaking to a crowd of people bearing the Uchiha family crest. We must rise up and take the village our ancestor, Uchiha Madara, founded. The Hokage and the council believe we summoned the Kyuubi to attack Konoha and kill the Namikaze Minato. We cannot allow this to continue. What is this? Naruto asked in thought. This is memory. Naruto turned swiftly and found a completely normal Itachi standing behind him. I am dying. You won, but there are things that are still left unfinished. This is one of them, Itachi continued. What are you talking about? Naruto asked him. My father, Uchiha Fugaku, was rallying the entire Uchiha clan for a hostile takeover of Konoha. The entire clan was planning a coup d'etat, Itachi explained, making Naruto take a step back in surprise. Why the hell should I believe that? That can't be true, Naruto said, shaking his head. But it is. What's more, I was playing a double agent inside the Uchiha clan for the Sandaime Hokage, Danzo and the elders. When negotiations with the clan broke down, they ordered me to destroy the clan, Itachi stated clearly as the scene around them changed. A second later they were in one of the rooms at the base of the Hokage Tower. A younger Itachi had his head bowed before Danzo and the elders of Konoha. Hiruzen's negotiations have failed. A civil war is coming if we don't stop it now, Koharu said simply. His belief that the Uchiha will actually listen is useless if a war starts here. We have to eliminate the problem at the source, Danzo stated clearly. If we wait, then it could be the start of the Fourth Great Shinobi War, he continued. What must be done? Itachi asked. The Uchiha must be neutralized before they plunge this entire continent into war, Danzo answered finally. Weasel. You are to make sure the peace in Konoha is maintained at any cost. The scene suddenly changed again, and a moment later Naruto found himself in a white room with Itachi standing a few feet away. As you can see, I was under orders to destroy the clan, Itachi stated clearly. Do you regret any of it? Naruto asked him. Do I regret killing my parents and the rest of the traitors in the clan? No. But I will always regret killing the innocent, the children and the babies. Sasuke was the only one I couldn't bring myself to kill, Itachi answered truthfully. Why are you showing me this? Naruto questioned. Because all I have left is the ideals of Leader Sama. He wants peace. And I believe you do too. You need this information if you are to bring peace, Itachi replied. You mean pain? Naruto asked with anger lingering in his words. Yes. Though he is not the true leader of Akatsuki, Itachi replied. True leader? Naruto questioned. The benefactor of Akatsuki, the man who helped me destroy the Uchiha clan, and the man who summoned Kyuubi no Yoko to attack Konoha 16 years ago. Uchiha Madara, Itachi answered. Your chakra is vile and reminds me of Uchiha Madara. Naruto's eyes widened at the name. Who the hell is Madara? You heard my father talking about him earlier. He was the founder of the Uchiha clan in Konoha. He could control the Kyuubi like a pet and used it to attack Konoha 16 years ago. In a way, Konoha was right and the Uchiha were responsible for the attack. I am unsure what his plan is, but I will tell you this, he is weakened at the moment compared to what he once was. He suffered considerable injuries at the hands of the Shodai Hokage, but even still he is an extremely dangerous shinobi. Sooner or later you will have to face him. I pray that you are ready when you do, Itachi said calmly as crows swarmed around the pair. A crow dove and entered Naruto's mouth, forcing its way down his neck. Once it disappeared, Naruto collapsed to floor, coughing but otherwise fine. He glared at the Uchiha mass murderer in front of him as he tried to steady his breathing. What did you do to me? Naruto demanded. I gave you some of my power, though I pray that you are never forced to use it, Itachi stated and turned away. My time is up. You know Sasuke will be coming after you now, don't you? His revenge demands it. Naruto remained silent as he continued. I've done all that I can. The rest is up to you. With that the world was consumed in light. Fire Country, battlefield, near Konoha. Naruto stared down at the unmoving form of Itachi's upper body, the lower half motionless a few feet to his left. Suddenly a bright light exploded from the body and shot into Naruto's hands. A moment later the light died down to reveal another chakra crystal, this one crimson with the feeling of incredible heat. I will give you resurrection, 4 of 6. Shiki Fujin. Who the hell are you? Naruto asked but received no answer. Naruto clenched his fists as he stood over the body of his defeated opponent before he let out a sigh. He crouched down and pulled a small scroll out of his cloak. He quickly sealed the body in the scroll before he rose to his feet again and turned to leave. He cast one look back at where Itachi once lay before continuing onwards to Konoha. He staggered as he walked but otherwise kept moving. Itachi. All you wanted to do was stop a war from breaking out. You didn't deserve this, Naruto thought as he kept sluggishly walked through the trees. He tripped, losing his balance in the process and fell forward. Crap. The next thing he knew, his right arm was slung over someone's shoulder. Tayuya. The red-headed Uzumaki snorted in amusement. What are you doing here? We got word from Katsuyu that you once or I came out to get you. Since knowing you, you probably went overboard again. Oh, and before I forget, you weigh a ton. Maybe you should try dieting, the redhead said, grinning. Smartass, Naruto snorted in response as she helped him walk in a straight line. What about the others? He asked her. Ero Hokage and the Green Wonder were killed. Everyone else is being tended to by the old slug and Yugito. It could have been a lot worse. Tayuya muttered the last part and Naruto couldn't help but bitterly agree. And you? He asked her. The redhead just grinned. I've had better days. Haven't we all? The young sage asked with a small laugh. Try to stay conscious, Whiskers, Tayuya said with a smirk. Whiskers. I thought it was shit stain. The blonde asked with a weak grin. You've been promoted to Whiskers, so deal with it, the redhead replied. I think you've been spending too much time around Anko, Naruto commented as the two approached the eastern gates of Konoha. What's that? He asked when he caught sight of the crowd standing at the gates. Hey, there they are, one of the villagers called. Naruto. Great job. Another village shouted as others shouted out the gratitude also. Yeah, you did great. One of the shinobi in the crowd cheered. What is this? Naruto said in surprise as the several of the villagers ran towards him. Didn't I say Katsuyu told us everything? Everyone knows you beat Itachi when even Ero Hokage failed, Tayuya explained as Naruto suddenly found himself surrounded by villagers and ninja alike. Naruto. The young sage turned and saw Yugito step in front of him. Hey Yugito. I'm back, Naruto said with a small smile. You reckless idiot, she smacked his head forcing him to recoil slightly. The next thing he knew her lips were crushed against his in a kiss which sent the crowd into another wave of cheers. Yugito pulled away after a few seconds and said, Don't ever make me worry like that again. Sorry I worried you Yugito, Naruto said softly and smiled. Thanks for caring, he pulled her into another kiss and the crowd cheered. Today was the day that marked the reign of the Rokudaime Hokage. Fire Country, Daimyo's Palace, Council Chamber. We plan to continuing working with other countries against the threat posed by Akatsuki, Homura stated clearly to the council if Fire and the Fire Daimyo. After what has happened to Konoha, Fire Country will put every effort into helping rebuild from this latest attack. We'll first have to come up with a budget, and considering the strain on the other countries. I suppose we should be thankful that the village is still standing from this incident, one of the councillors said with a nod. Quote, There is something else we should consider first, who will be the next Hokage? Danzo asked the question. Quote, I was thinking Tsunade would be a fine choice, the Fire Daimyo mused. She is the granddaughter of the Shodai Hokage and is a student of the Sandaime Hokage. She is also a drunk and a gambler. If she were made Hokage then Konoha might struggle with her authority, Koharu spoke up. Quote, So who shall it be? Asked the Daimyo. Quote, Well, Danzo began but was cut off when the main doors flew open. I apologize for intruding Daimyo-sama, but I am here on a matter of grave importance. Naruto's voice echoed through the chamber as he entered with Tayuya, Sai and a squad of Anbu and Jonin at his side. Uzumaki Naruto, what is the meaning of this? Koharu demanded as she and the rest of the room's occupants rose from their seats. You are under arrest, Naruto replied simply and pointed towards her and her companions. Anbu, take the elders into custody, he ordered and the Anbu complied without delay. On what charge? Homura demanded. Attempted genocide of a Konoha clan, Naruto's reply stopped everyone in the room cold. Danzo's visible eye narrowed further at his words, he knows about the Uchiha clan. I can't let him live with that knowledge. He took a step back as two figures appeared in front of him, Fu, Torun. Cover me, I'm going to release the seal on my arm. He slipped of his bandages to reveal a cast of some kind on his arm. It's a good thing I recalled these two when Itachi attacked. But I never expected Sai to betray me. That Kyuubi Jinchuriki must have removed the seal on his tongue or he wouldn't dare oppose me like this. Shinra Tensei, Tayuya whispered and both root agents were slammed through the wall as Sai and the Anbu grabbed the two village elders. You can't do this, Koharu shouted in outrage. I apologize for the disturbance Daimyo-sama, but I must make sure the peace in Konoha is maintained at any cost, Naruto said as he smiled at the now stiff elders and Danzo. All three were surprised at the words he had used, words that they remembered from the night they ordered the Uchiha clan be destroyed. Danzo threw down the metal cast and revealed his right arm, covered in numerous Sharingan. Where did you get those Sharingan? Naruto asked him. Here and there, it's a long story, Danzo replied cryptically. So you and the elders really did order Itachi to exterminate the Uchiha, Naruto declared to the surprise of the room. If that is true, then when will you stop? Once everyone is one of your mindless drones. I can't allow you to continue with this pointless bloodshed. Pointless. What I have always done has been for the good of Konoha, it is the reason there has been no wars in so many years, Danzo shot back. You and the other elders were given the mantle by Shodai and Nadaime Hokages, so they entrusted the future of Konoha to you. Now it's time for you to step aside and put your faith in the youth of today, Naruto stated clearly, though he thought the last part sounded like something Lee would say. No, I am the only one who can ensure Konoha's continued survival, Danzo declared as he made several hand seals and shot forward at incredible speeds. Shinra Tensei, Naruto whispered, and Danzo was thrown back against the far wall with a thud and spray of blood. Your Rinnegan is impressive, Namikaze Naruto, Danzo said, suddenly appearing where he was originally standing completely unharmed to the surprise of everyone in the room. I thought he was a better man than that bastard, self-sacrifice, that is what defines a shinobi, scorning the sun, to work in the shadows, that has always been, that is a true shinobi. Many ninja have died like that. Itachi is not the only one. Niceties will not make the world go round. It is thanks to people like that we have been able to maintain the peace. In telling his secret, Itachi betrayed Konoha. And now by challenging me you have too. Shunpo no Jutsu, Naruto appeared in front of him in a flash of yellow light. Kawazu Kumite. The punch slammed into Danzo's chest and he was hurled through the wall behind him. The two found themselves outside the tower of the palace and tumbling down in the trees below. They touched down on solid ground a few seconds later and narrowed their eyes at each other, in Danzo's case all of them. Now we must speak with our eyes, Namikaze Naruto, were Danzo's words. That will be it for this video. If you want more, comment down below, like, subscribe. And see you guys later.